Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to have a quick look at a few new affordable art supply products. First up, I have this watercolor palette from Lightwish. It is a 12 color travel palette. I've generally been pretty impressed with products from Lightwish, especially their watercolor paper and their paint, but you never know. A lot of these products are white labeled, so you never quite know what you're going to get. So let's take a look at this. It's in a, is it a hard shell case? I can't really tell. It's roughly, I'm going to bring it over about 4x4. And then, oh, in here we have, looks like a couple of, it's the exact same swatch card, but two of them. We've got this little case. This is neat. It's a little case with 12 half pans. That would make it a nice little, you know, travel palette just on its own. But this is the travel palette. So let me just see this. Appears to be a hard case. It kind of reminds me of what headphones might come in, but larger. So, okay, we've got that little zipper case. Inside, I have seen this palette before. I have this palette under a different brand, Empty. It was about $12. Now this is selling for, I think 22 something, and it's got a little water cup that you can attach. So I'm familiar with this style of palette because, I'm a travel palette connoisseur. And so here we have an empty case. Now the other palette that I have like this actually has a couple trays that you can fill. So that's kind of neat. I can link both so that you can kind of see what might be best for you. We've got 3 mixing areas, and then these will go inside. So it looks like they are in the order. I don't know why it comes with this extra thing though. Maybe... No, that can't be the way it goes. They must go this way. Maybe it comes with this extra piece so that if you decide you want to put different paints in, then you can. So we've got lemon yellow, deep yellow, vermilion, rose madder, royal purple, ultramarine. I'm hoping, it's hard to tell these really dark colors, which is probably a good sign. Hopefully it's a good sign, and it means that these are going to be really transparent and nice. There's Prussian blue, emerald, tree green, which is the Paul Rubens or Lightwish version of sap green, earth yellow, like a yellow ochre, burnt sienna, and carbon black. I'm liking the selection. I mean, I'm not crazy about black, but sometimes, you know, a lot of people like it, so I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, you know? All right, so now we also have some sketchbooks. Maybe we'll fill out one of these swatch cards first and see how that looks. Now I have these are from a different company, but I want to give them a whirl as well because, you know, there is the holidays coming, and I know that, you know, we're all looking for gifts for people, right? So this is the Famui Travel Brush Set. This time it doesn't have the wooden parts of the handle, so I reviewed the dual-ended brushes a while back, and they were really cool. I was really happy with them. And they made another set that doesn't have the wood. And I did have at least one viewer ask how thick the brush was. And they preferred something a little bit thinner. So I think this might be good for painters that want something thinner. I generally would probably keep one end on the brush just because it's going to be a little bit chunkier to hold, a little bit nicer to hold, I think. So I think I'll just start off just by using this cat's tongue. I haven't even opened these or tried these yet, so everything is just a first impression. Let's not call this a review because I don't feel right calling something a review if I haven't used something for a while, but we can get our first impressions of this anyway. Sometimes you can tell pretty quick because, I mean, I feel like I've used all these before. So you know what we can do since we have 2 swatches? We can do one swatch just dry, without reactivating. So these are dry and, you know, ooh, that's nice and vibrant though. So we can just do a dry swatch without it being pre-activated, because, you know, a lot of times we will spray our water, we'll spray our water. Oh my god, it's first thing in the morning, by the way. We'll spray our paints with water, and then we'll paint from them, and then that's different, right? If you wake up the paints first, you're going to get a darker result. So I want to know how these are going to be right out of the box. And so far, so good. Rose Madder, that's gorgeous. These paints are nice and vibrant right from the jump without doing anything to it. These have been sitting for a couple weeks in the to be review pile, and who knows, okay, Royal Purple, yeah, that's the right one. I'm like, did I grab the wrong one? These are much better than the paints from the Fun 2. They come in the Fun 2 square palette that's a little bit smaller than this. Ultramarine looks a little bit weak. Well, maybe not. Oh, I guess it's alright. I'm thinking these are probably superior watercolors. Let's see if the Prussian blue is glassy. Oh, the Prussian blue is good. Prussian blue can get like hard to reactivate sometimes. I don't know what it is about that color, but that color tends to go glassy, meaning it will get like this film over it. It's really hard to activate. Emerald green, not my favorite color, but it is a pretty common one. I prefer like just a straight phthalo. Tree green, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is superior. Could be Phoenix, but I think it's superior, which is what's in their 24 and 48 Lightwish watercolor sets. Nice earth yellow, nice yellow ochre color. And nice burnt sienna, a little bit milky, but I haven't pre-activated these either. And carbon black. Oh, that's really dark. Okay, that would be actually good if you were just doing a monochrome and you just wanted to use one color. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is set these aside for a second. Maybe I will give them a little spray just so we can see if there's a big difference if we pre-activate it. I mean, I can't imagine there would be because... Let me just lift that tray out so I don't spray it by accident. So this is going from dry, still nice and bright. Give it a little spray and we'll set that aside and we'll look at the sketchbooks. So they have, this one looks like, I wonder if this is ATC size. So it is 2.5 by 3 1/4 or so. So not quite ATC size. That would be cool if it was, and then you could take out the pages. I'm trying to see what kind of binding it looks like. It looks like it might either be a little block or it might be a perfect bound. It's 100% cotton. 60 sheets, mini watercolor sketchbook, 2.6 inches by 3.3 inches. So just not quite artist trading card. Ah, that's aggravating. I wish it was artist trading card size because I'm actually filming this before I leave for a retreat in Italy, and it would have been so cool if I could have done artist trading cards on the plane with this. Okay, what is this? What is... Oh, it is a block. That's cool. Oh, Lightwish, why? Why couldn't you have made this artist trading card size? It's so close to artist trading card size. Oh man, that's a bummer. I wish it was just a little bit bigger. Oh, bummer. Okay, and then we've got this guy here, which I think might be the same thing. This one is 4.7 by 4.7. This is a cool idea though. So let's open this up. I think I can, oh yeah, this has a little tear in it. I think the top page might be compromised because it's got a little scratch on it. So that is one thing to, you know, think about. You've got, and it looks like there's like a little bend on that, so I might have to cut that top page off. But that's all right. We can just play with some color on there. But interesting. Look, it's like bound on two sides. Is that 60 sheets as well? That's quite a bargain, I think. 60 sheets, is it really? Okay, Lindsay, why do you not read before you get rid of packaging? Is that the little one? That's the little one. 60 sheets. Well, actually, hold them next. Yeah, they must both be 60. 60? 60 sheets. 60. It doesn't look like there'd be 60 in there. That's wild. It doesn't look like there'd be 60. Maybe there is. Huh. Could it be... It seems more likely that it's 30 sheets. Because... Maybe 60 pages. But it wouldn't be pages because it's... The way it's bound. It's bound like a block. Kind of like the Fluid does their blocks. That is really interesting. Alright. Let's play with some paint. Let's play with some paint and a different brush. Let's see, what else do we have here for these Fumui brushes? We got a little flat. Let's just try out the brushes. I gotta clean them though. That's poor planning on my part. Why don't we take a little break and I will get the sizing out of these brushes and we'll try these brushes out while we're at it. I washed the sizing out of these brushes. I also wanted to show you the difference between that set and the older set. Lengthwise, just on their own, that's the difference right there. I think I'm going to prefer having a little bit of extra length in there, but you know, we'll see. I'm going to use these and see what I think. And yeah, they are a couple bucks cheaper as I recall, but you know, honestly, it is, don't hold me to anything. Let's try them out. Let's try out these brushes and see. I think they're about the same. And so I'm just going to do one side at a time. This is our number 10 round. It's a nice size. I would say it's a little closer to an 8 from what I like the conventional brushes, but let's just take a look and see. Well, what color? I like this red. Oh, yeah. The bristles feel really nice. Let's do some thin and thick lines. Oh yeah, that's nice. Ooh, very, very nice brush. I like the feeling of that. I could see myself using mainly that brush. And the next one on this one is a dagger. Let's do maybe the green here. Oh, by the way, there's nothing holding these little pans in, so you might want to use a little double-sided tape or something. Oh, it's a nice little brush. Oh yeah, I like that little brush. This is a faux squirrel. A synthetic squirrel, kind of similar to the Mimic brushes. I like the length on these though, because they do hold a good amount of water, just like the longer version. Although I am traveling. I'm going to take one of these sets with me. I'm not sure which one yet. We got a little flat brush. Let's do the emerald. Why not? Might as well. I don't really use this color much otherwise, so might as well. Oh, you know what? This reminds me a lot of the flat in the Mimic. Although I like the fact that these screw on, because that's one issue with the Mimic travel brushes, and I like them because they're the synthetic squirrel as well. But they're more, I think they're more expensive actually. Yeah, they are. I think they're like about $40 or more. Like on sale, they're like $40 for 4, and this you're getting 6 ends for I think it's around $30. Yeah, this is a very similar end, but since it screws on, you don't have to worry about losing the cap, which is something that I've had other people experience with the Mimic ones. I didn't, but I did have other people experience that. It's got a nice little chisel edge there. Let's see what we have on the other end. I feel like I want see with the other brushes, I feel like if I don't have the cap on both ends, I still have enough to grip onto. With this, I feel like I really need the cap on the opposite end. Let's do the purple. This is a number 1 detail brush. I think I probably could get just as fine of a line with a 10, but it would hold a lot more water, and sometimes with the synthetics they tend to drop your water too quickly, so having the smaller brush will be more of a water control thing than a detail control thing, you know what I mean? But I think I would probably end up using mostly the number 10. Oh, this is, oh no, I just did that one. Okay, we've done both of those. Let's try these. We have a number 4 round. Let's do vermilion. I like the length of the bristles because it makes it hold a good amount of water. This does not have as much of a point as the number 12, the number 10. I don't think this one's as versatile, honestly. It doesn't have a really good point to it. Not as impressed with that one. Still, it'll get the job done, but... And then the last one is the cat's tongue that we started off with. Let's do Prussian blue with a cat's tongue. I think I'll probably like this because I tend to like a cat's tongue brush. Alright, so the paper seems to be nice and well sized, nice crisp lines, no issues there. Let's just take a look at the older style of the Famui brushes too, and we can just do a little we can just do some quick little demos there. I just want to kind of get it in my hands and feel the difference here. So you can see we've got a much longer brush. Like this doesn't even feel like a travel brush because of the handle we have on there. It has a nice weight and a nice length to it. Yeah, I like the way that feels in my hand a lot better. But if you wanted to save that inch of space in your bag or in your pocket or however you like to carry your brushes, that could be a good option. This is the number 10 round. Also comes to a nice point. I like the weight and the feel of the slightly longer ones with a little bit of wood in there. But we're all different. We're all different. And both of the sets have little bleed holes at the end, so if you put your brush away wet, which honestly it's a lot easier to get these brushes back in their holders if they're wet. You don't have to worry about them molding because they will dry out. Plus they are synthetic, so you shouldn't really have that issue anyway. Yeah, I like the feeling of these longer ones personally. Now this the number 2 here, let's see, so we have a number 2 instead of a number 1. Yeah, we have a number 2 instead of a number 1, I think. Yeah, the number 1 detail there, but this number 2 looks like it has a better point to it. So let's do... Yeah, I like this brush better. I'm gonna rate the older Famui dual-ended ones higher just for, you know, at least the brushes that I have, they seem to be a little bit, although I like the round number 10 on the short ones. I don't know, it's probably just a little bit of batch variation. Let's try this flat. No problem there. I'm noticing the paint's getting a little bit goopy as it sits there with the water on it, but that's not a big surprise. That's very similar for student grade paints. These are student grade paint. I would say something similar to like a Van Gogh or Cotman. Not bad. Let's see, we've already done that one. And with these, like if I take both ends off, I still feel like I have enough to hang on to. So like these with both ends off feels like these with one of the caps on. So, you know, I do feel like this is a better experience. So let's do the cat's tongue. Oh, let's do the Prussian blue. Yeah, like I would have no problem painting with both ends uncapped with this longer version, but with the shorter version I'd want the cap on just for like weight and balance and whatnot. So just something to consider. I don't think either one is bad or good. I think they just have their own, you know, it's whatever you prefer, honestly. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, both sets of brushes are just fine and dandy. It just depends on what you want lengthwise. So let's compare to, this is the one with the cat's tongue, so let's find the equivalent. Of course, it's the last one I look at. Wouldn't it be the last one you look at though? It's not like you keep looking after you found what you want. You think about that when they say it's always in the last place you look. It's like, yeah, because you stop looking. So there's the difference in the size of these. You do have a little bit bigger center grab area on the all metal version, probably so that you can grasp it to take your caps off, but like this does not feel, this feels like almost like a toy where you have it so short like that, but this feels like, yeah, I could still use this as a brush. It doesn't feel totally unbalanced. So with these, I think you definitely would want to have one of your caps on. So it just depends on whether, and still even that, I prefer the feel of this with both ends uncapped than this with one end capped. So personally, and also, it's funny because it feels, I would say that with the cap on, they're about the same, they're about the same weight, but this just feels more natural and more comfortable. I feel like this is, even though the wood is a little bit thicker, the brass ferrules here, or the brass fittings in the center, where you're probably going to be holding it on, are about the same. So I did have a viewer ask about the thickness of the brush. Well, yeah, it's thinner here, but you're not going to be grabbing it there. You're probably going to be grabbing it in the center, and it's the same. It's the same regardless of of the brushes, because the fittings in the center are the same, and they chunk that one up a little bit, I think, probably to make it a little bit more comfortable to hold. So I'm still going to recommend, I think they're both fine, honestly. It's whatever you like, but I would give a preference to the one with the wooden center. I think that just makes it a much nicer painting experience, having that little extra length. And you're only saving, let's see, let's put it on the mat here. You're saving, okay, 1 3/4 inches. So I guess it is somewhat significant in length, but, and like, you know, if we look at the wallets here, the wallet sizes, that's about you've got about 1.5 inches larger wallet there if you like to keep your brushes in the wallet, not just throw them in your pocket. You know, but the brush heads, I would say they're going to be the same either way. There might be a little bit of batch variation, which I think is what I had with mine, but good brushes either way. Yeah, they've got my stamp of approval, but definitely the ones that are a little bit longer with the wood centers would be my preference. I just looked up these on Amazon. It says 60 sheets. This one's 11 or $11.99, and this one is 16 or $16.99. And they're showing it like flipping it over, open like a sketchbook, like maybe you just undo one side of it. But that's, I don't know, I can't imagine that holding very well. So I'm thinking this is really more like a block. I am going to, and it says 60 sheets. 60 sheets. I'm just really surprised because it doesn't seem like it's enough for a 140 pound to have 60 sheets in there. I guess I'll have to count it at some point, but let's see if we can take that block off. It should be pretty easy. So if we did just undo one side, I mean, yeah, I guess we could use it like a block. I'm seeing this little like indent here, but it didn't give me any trouble when I was painting on it. Maybe I can see a little bit of a line there. I don't know. We'll have to see. And so then how, you see, that's going to come off way too easy for it to be a sketchbook. This is a block. I'm going to call this a block, kind of like the fluid blocks. Now let's see, can we take it off without the unblocker here? Yep, it's easy enough to pull that off without the little butter knife or unblocker tool here. Yeah, it's just a gummed on two sides pad. All right, let's do a little painting and see how this goes. I think I'll just start with a little pencil sketch. Let's do nothing too fancy. Let's just do like a little vase. I'm gonna make this little line. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Can you see that? It's like a little band right there. I don't see it on the smaller one, just on this bigger one, and maybe it'll be gone in a couple pages. I'm not sure, but I can feel a little bit of a oh, what do I want to say? Like I can feel where it's bent. I'm just gonna make a little vase. I saw this really sweet. It looks like a little pumpkin vase with a autumn arrangement in it. I thought that'd be really cute, like a little mug or pitcher. So we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna do a really quick little loose sketch here. I am so excited. I am filming this right before I leave for Italy. I realized I was short a video, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I've been meaning to play with some of these things on the review cart, so we'll just do a first impressions here. Like I said, not a real review, because I like to use something for a while before I review it, but definitely a little kind of like first look, first impressions. But I just thought this little bouquet was super cute, and it would be fun to do, just in a kind of a loose style. So that's what we're gonna do here, just in a little bit of a loose style. Just there. Okay, so we've got a little sketch there, nothing too crazy, and we're going to use our new brushes, because why not? I really like that number 10 round. I think that's the one I want to use. It is. I feel like it's a little harder to read the numbers on the silver barrels versus the black barrels too. So that's another consideration, because you do have to find each of these brushes and read. Your font's bigger because it's a bigger handle, and it's gold on black or silver on black. I can't tell, or maybe it's gray it looks like it's definitely stands out, so I can really quickly see if it's a round, if it's cat's tongue, the size that it is. So another bonus for the larger set. But because this is I've used those, I haven't used these. Let's play with this. Also, oh, you know what? Should we re-swatch? We'll re-swatch after we've done our painting. That way we know that everything's nice and juicy. All right, I want to make the vase color, and I want to use them. Oh, look at that. Yeah, these colors look really nice. And I find that, like, if I'm out and about painting, I'm a little less particular about my, like, the comfort of my brush, because I'm just so in the moment and just trying to get everything down. But yeah, I definitely like the ones with the wooden handles on it better. I want to add a little shadow, so I want to go a little bit thicker. Please excuse the basement noises. I'm actually sneaking down here before I walk the dog, because it's pretty early. I like to let the buses get going. The school buses go before I walk the dog. She doesn't like that that noise, but I just have the house noises there. Okay. We've done wet on dry. We've done dry on damp. The paints are performing just fine. Getting a little, I'm seeing like little divots made, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna let's clean off that yellow pan. And I'm gonna paint in, and I'm just doing a loose little thing. I'm just gonna paint in the sunflower there. And let's take a little bit of this rose color, make like a peachy color, do a little peachy flower down here. I like to let things kind of bleed together a little bit. Do another one over there. A lot of times I'll do a whole painting just with a round brush anyway, when I'm out and about. Keep it simple, you know. Go right in just to the pasty paint from the pan. I don't know what flower this is. I'm very loosely following a reference photo, but just kind of for a general idea. I think I want to make a purple because I'm not in love with that purple that's there. So I'm going to start with that rose color. I'm going to add some ultramarine. Let's see if we can get that to... Was that the ultramarine? I think so. Get a little bit of that in the center for the sunflower. Let's do some yellow ochre. Ooh, I don't think I like that mix, but you know, to be expected. They're opposites there. Soak up some of that. Maybe add in a little bit of the burnt sienna. See what that does. It's okay if you're making mud someplace where you want it to be brown anyway. And I'm also going to throw in a few little wheat stalks. Oh yeah, nice detail with these brushes. No problems there. Yeah, I don't think these brushes, I think the quality of the bristles are fine. I don't think this is very comfortable personally. I definitely would go for the slightly longer ones. It's not worth it. It's not worth the space saving, in my opinion. Obviously, we're all different, but to me, no, it's not worth it. I don't think I like how harsh that is. Can we scrub back? We can scrub back a bit. And this is a soft brush, so I wouldn't expect too much scrubbing anyway. Now, Famui does a variety of different kinds of brushes. They've asked me to review brushes in the past, and I've turned them down for a lot of different brushes because they're not synthetic, and I don't want to promote fur brushes. And nothing's perfect. I know nothing's perfect. I mean, you got plastic, right? You got plastic pollution with synthetic brushes. You've got animal cruelty with fur brushes. There's no perfect consumption. So your best course of action is to use what you have, buy what you need, and try not to overdo it. I know that probably sounds very hypocritical because I have a lot of supplies, but hopefully I can take the hit and save you some time and money by taking the wheat from the chaff, basically, kind of seeing what's worth it and what is a waste. I hope. Yeah, I'm not feeling joy painting with these brushes. I think the quality of the bristles are fine, but I do not like this really short. This is too short and just too awkward. Which is funny because like the travel mimic brushes, they felt more comfortable to paint with for some reason to me than these do. Maybe it's the weight? I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's a hot mess, but yeah, I probably shouldn't have re-wet that area. Now it just looks awful. Well, let's try blotting and see what happens. Yeah, maybe we'll just let that dry and come back in and do something else. Let's add a little bit of water to this. Yeah, a little bit of that more pink. I like the colors in this a lot better than the colors in the Fun 2 set, which was that similar type of palette. I bought one of those and I took the colors out, and that was like their basic bright color selection, and then they came out with a pastel color selection, which I have not removed the colors from yet. I might just leave them alone because I don't really need to make another palette just like what I already have. Let's try some of this purple and just add it right to the center of those and see what it does. The flow is okay. I don't think these paints are a really high flow paint. So if that's what you're looking for, you're going to be disappointed in these paints. They're like the Lightwish or superior paints that we've all used before. Most of us have used by one brand or another. So you probably have very similar paint in your stash from something else. I'm kind of charmed by this little block though. I like that. I like the quality of this paper. It's probably potentate. Potentate makes a lot of the 100% cotton sketchbooks that you see sold by different brands these days on Amazon, and I'm happy with that. I think that's a decent thing. I think New York Central paper and the Altenew paper might also be potentate. Seems very similar to me. Or at least the New York Central from what I saw in the store. I haven't personally tried the New York Central, but I have tried the Altenew and the packaging, and just I think that's probably that same brand. Add a little bit of green into the sunflower as well. Now this would be something I would stick on a greeting card, or I'd just write a note on the back and enclose with an order. If somebody ordered something, like ordered a painting from me, I'm just going to use that line that's on the paper already, that weird fold, as my table top, and let's put it a little blue in there. Let's see. Let's use the ultramarine. Let's see how it flows. Flows fine. I mean, these paints are adequate, I guess is what I would say. I know it's not a resounding thing, but a lot of times getting a cute palette with adequate paints is really something, because a lot of times you get a cute palette and the paints are absolute absolutely horrendous. But these are good. Like it's, and within companies, you'll have some, because with these companies that white label a lot, you'll have some paints that are great and some that are awful. And the only way to know is to either be familiar with the brand, watch a review, or just try it out. I know this painting is not going to win any awards, but I can get a good idea. I like the paper though. I wish it didn't have that fold on it. I don't think it's really going to make a difference in this one, but the brushes, I'm just going to say go with the original one. Go with the original style. These brushes with the shorter, without the wooden area, for me are just not it. Maybe if and I don't have arthritis. I don't have trimmers. I don't have anything that would make me need to use a special brush. But I'm finding this to be uncomfortable. It's like I feel like I have to choke down on the brush, and I don't like that. So kind of keep that in mind if you do have any sort of strength issues where you really need an ergonomic brush. This is not it. This is not going to, I don't think, is going to be a good situation. I would not hesitate to take this on a little trip, slip this in my pocket. It has also a water cup that will hook onto it if I wanted to use that, but I've got my water cups out already, so I don't want to bother with that, but I will show you how it hooks on. All right, I think it's fine. I think the paper's good. I think the paints are adequate. These brushes, the brush quality is fine. I don't like the short handles. But this is how the little water cup hooks on. Or you might actually want to go on the end. Probably want to go on the end so it doesn't hit those bumps there. But yeah, you can hold that with one hand. Have the sketchbook in your lap. Or even probably clip this onto your sketchbook, this flat mixing area. That's probably why this one's flat. So you could clip that onto your sketchbook so you have everything in one spot, which would be handy. I'd probably go like that if I was going to clip it onto a sketchbook. Just be careful, this is just plastic, so here's something to consider. I want to show you a similar palette. This one is the one by Fun2 that I mentioned. It comes in a little purse. I do have a video kind of comparing this with the other Fun2 palettes I have coming up soon. Just the way I have everything scheduled out. It just isn't up yet. But that is, or maybe it will be. It might be by the time this comes out. I'm not sure. But this is their pastel set, and you can put the paper in there. You could do that on there as well, but it also has a little cover that you can hook on there for water. So yeah, similar. This is a smaller footprint. The paint is not as good in the Fun2 one like this. The paint in the 24 Fun2 set that comes in a little bag that's got the tiny little squares of paint. That paint's good. That paint I would say is better than this paint, but the little chalky cubes that come in the palette looks like this from Fun2, the paint is not great. Just FYI there. But I do really enjoy these little travel palettes. It's fun to compare them, and hopefully I can help you find the right one for you. I like this little formula. I'm just kind of curious how far that weird fold goes in the paper, because let's take this top sheet off and see if the next sheet has that little fold on it too. It's probably just whatever they press it in. Maybe they had it a little off, and it could just be my book. Yours might be fine. I can still see it a little bit here, but it seems like it's less, so I'm going to take the next page off. Let's see. Take one for the team here. I'm also skeptical that this would have 60 sheets. That seems, I could see 60 pages. Oh, I like the back side. Now on the back side of this is no fold. So, okay, so it was just affecting the first 3 sheets. I kind of like, actually I like that texture. I'm just trying to think what texture. I like the back side of the texture a little bit better. So I guess if you had that situation, you could go in from the other side. What's going on there? Is that just paper? It's just a little paper backing. That's really strange. Okay, I want to count how many pages I can count. So I'm going to do that. I'll be right back and I'll report what I counted. Well, son of a gun, there's 60 sheets in these pads. I would not have believed it. And it's nice thick paper. So for the products that we've looked so far, first impressions, I'm going to say yes, the blocks of paper are totally worth it. If you want the cute palette, this is $22. So, I mean, you can get the palette on its own for $12 with 2 extra trays from another seller on Amazon. Well, could be around anywhere from between $12.99 and $20.99. So I guess it's not bad. You're getting 12 decent paints. So I'm going to say yes, this palette and the paints is worth it. The brushes, these are around 30, maybe a little bit less than 30. I'm going to say so are the longer ones. I'm going to say the longer ones, 100%, they are totally worth it. I've been using them for a while, so I can vouch for these longer ones being worth it. These, they're a couple bucks cheaper. I think that like these might be 26 and those might be 30. Or 32. These, I'm going to say, with a caveat, I think the quality of the bristles is good. I don't like the feeling of them in my hand, but quality-wise, I'd say yes, they are worth it. But I would strongly urge you to spend the extra couple bucks and take up the little extra space in your travel kit and get the longer ones. Because, I mean, for 6 brushes for 30 bucks, because essentially you're getting 6 brush ends, that's a really great value for a nice, soft, synthetic swirl that holds a good amount of water that's really nice to use. The length of these, just for me, are not comfortable, and when you have such a great option for two or three bucks more, go with the longer bristles. But there is my little review in a nutshell. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to re-swatch and see what we think after these have been fully wet and used and stuff. Let's see if we get much of a difference in our swatching. Of course, it's probably dried out a bit. You know, some of the colors that we didn't use very much dried out. I really don't think there's much difference. I don't think, definitely you don't need to reactivate these, which is good for a travel kit. So you don't need to have it super sopping wet to get the good color out of it. But of course, you can just spray them if you want to. I don't think that's necessary. The ultramarine's a little bit, well, I'm going to say it feels a little weak to me, or a little dull maybe. It'd be really easy to pop those little extruded bricks of color out of the palette as well, and refill it from tubes. So don't feel like you have to keep it like that. Emerald green, I probably would just get rid of that and put a Viridian in, or Viridian hue actually, like a phthalo green, PG7 phthalo green. That's a pretty sap green. The sap green definitely is more perkier once it's been pre-wet. We'll give it a quick dry too, just so we can compare. Oops, I had a big blot of water there on my swatch card. Like I said, they're a solid student grade paint. Probably similar, like equivalent to a Cotman. Pretty sure they're superior. If you have the Lightwish 24 or 48 set, it would be the same paint. To me, it seems like. So yeah, maybe just having it pre-activated, it's a little bit more vibrant. Of course, we got to give that a quick dry to tell for sure. You know, they're not going to be the best paints in the world, but they're certainly not bad. And as far as a cute little palette like that, they're much better than the ones that come in the Fun 2 square ones, which are very chalky. And yeah, I'm going to say there's no benefit to pre-activating. By the time you know, put a couple strokes of paint on your paper, the paints are going to be nice and juicy and ready to go. So yeah, no need to pre-activate. The Rose Madder looks a little bit stronger, but you certainly don't need to pre-activate to get it to do its thing. So there you have it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Please keep in mind I'm traveling this week, so and next week, so I will not, there'll be a delay, and if I don't get back to you, just pop another comment down in a week or so when I get back. You get the bonus with this of having this little extra case, so you could make yourself another little travel palette, or you can store the colors you don't want to use and swatch it out. I think that's interesting. I don't know why. I would just use it as a secondary palette or a way to bring some extra colors with me. You know, that wouldn't fit in the case, but, you know, to you it may be like a waste of plastic. Only you can decide what's right for you. I can't decide what's right for you, but definitely like the papers. I can't believe there's 60 sheets in there, but there is. That's wild. Nice quality. And yeah, that's my first impressions of the Lightwish palette and the Stubby Short dual-ended Famui brushes, and these little watercolor sketchbooks, or blocks. I'm going to call them easy blocks. They're like the fluid easy blocks, except the paper's better than the fluid paper, in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye!